Welcome, Bryte Church, to another devotional. If you're going to open up with me to John chapter 8, last time we did 1 through 11. Let's do verse 12 this time. John 8, verse 12. And here's what it says. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. It's an interesting thing when you look at the context of this. The story before this is the woman who was caught in the act of adultery and was brought to Jesus, and Jesus had a lot of wisdom to share and a lot of love towards that woman. And so when you read this whole thing in the context, there's a question that comes up. Let's reread verses 10 and 11 really quick. Chapter 8, verses 10 and 11. Jesus stood up and said to her, Woman, where are they, the accusers? Has no one condemned you? She said, No one, Lord. And Jesus said, Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on sin no more. Again Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That question, go and sin no more. Wait, really? Jesus, you believe that this woman can go and sin no more? There's a mechanism that Jesus has, a very simple way that a person will stop sinning. And that mechanism is in verse 12. I didn't really notice this until I stopped in verse 11 and started asking myself, Jesus really believes and says to her, in all seriousness, go and sin no more. I don't condemn you. And expects this to be fulfilled in her life. And how? How is this possible? And I was stuck for a moment until you obviously read the rest of what John is saying. And in the next verse, the answer is there. Following Jesus. Now, during that time, it's really obvious what it means to follow Jesus. But what does it mean during our time? Well, we have eyewitness accounts of what Jesus said. We have the Spirit of God, Spirit of Jesus, inside every person who has believed and relied on him for salvation, dwelling inside that person. And so when you read and you reread Scripture and what Jesus said, those principles of his kingdom that transcend this sinful world, they guide us. And that's what he means by follow me. Follow what I preach. Follow what I do. And so my question for today is, are you following Jesus so that you don't sin against him? When you wake up in the morning, you have your time for devotional right now, ask him, Lord, I want to follow you. I want to make sure that I am living a life that's pleasing to you, so that every single day I'm more and more sanctified and more pleasing to you, and it's an exciting life to live, to be more pleasing and to be used by Jesus more, because you are being prepared for a holy work within the church and outside of the church. So be blessed today, thinking about how simple this mechanism of Jesus' sanctification is. I'll reread it again. Those who follow Jesus will not walk in darkness. He is the light. They will walk in the light. Be blessed.